Hey guys, what's up? It's episode 3 of JCD TV. A little off what I originally planned on talking about. Obviously, last night's big news was, of course, the ending of Monday Night Raw with Ryback and CM Punk. And while I am not going to get into where I think it's headed, where I'd like to see it go, how I feel about it on this episode, I'm actually going to do that tonight. I want to give a shout out to Jay and the guys at Pro Wrestling Powerhouse Radio. Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. I do plan on joining that discussion tonight and giving my thoughts on where I think this is all going, where I think it should go, and the one thing that maybe throws a monkey wrench in all of this. With that said, I am going to discuss Ryback in the sense of I want to look at where his character has gone and the comparisons to Goldberg. I know a lot of people, and even last week on the radio show, to reference that again, when we were talking about Ryback and the comparisons to Goldberg, a lot of people were discussing and have mentioned in the past that, well, look at the path Goldberg took to the top. When we thought it was going to be Miz Ryback for the IC title, a lot of people were comparing that to Goldberg Raven for the US title, which, while that did happen, and it did work for Goldberg. Goldberg never had to drop the U.S. title. He just forfeited it when he won the world title from Hogan, which is fine. And I've seen and heard that argument for Ryback. He could win the IC title from Miz, then win one of the world titles, just give up the IC title, and we're repeating history again. The difference, though, between Ryback now and Goldberg's build in WCW is, while 2-on-1 squash matches against nobodies are nice and all, and constant beatings of Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal, if you look at who Goldberg beat, WCW at the time, late 97, early 98, did a better job of having Goldberg climb the ladder of superstars to get to that point. I know he initially started a feud with Steve McMichael. His debut win was against Hugh Morris. I know Big Bubba was in there. I know Perry Saturn was the guy, I think, before Spring Stampede, the night before he beat Raven. Then once he beat Raven, I know he feuded with Kurt Hennig over the U.S. title. Hennig never worked that match for the U.S. title. Conan did, but I know Hennig put Goldberg over for the world title. Goldberg's tier, and no one seems to mention it. The night Goldberg beat Hogan, Goldberg beat Scott Hall an hour earlier to get to Hogan. So I think the difference between Ryback and Goldberg, while I see the similarities obviously in their characters, I think the difference is WCW did a better job of building him up and having him go through the tiers of talent that there were at that time a lot better than WWE has right now with Ryback. Don't get me wrong, I think it's phenomenal that they've gotten him over. I mean, let's remember, this is still Skip Sheffield. This is the guy who was a goofy redneck with a cowboy hat with Steven Regal on NXT, and the fact that this guy has been able to rebuild himself and get himself over is phenomenal. I'm not disputing that. I'm not killing the character or anything like that. It's gotten over. I mean, the segment last week with the couch, that was awesome. But I just think his level of talent that he's gone up against versus Goldberg's at the time, Goldberg's is far and away much more superior. I would have liked to have seen, and I'm surprised we haven't seen it already, I would have loved to have seen Ryback maybe before he turned face against Kane. Big show. This would be a great way for Mason Ryan to have come back, put them together. I mean, Tenzai even. I'm just a little surprised they haven't gone this route with him to get him more established with the legit stars and not just the random local guys that he's beating up to at the time. Don't get me wrong, 2 guys up on your shoulders for that shell shock is impressive. Like I said, I'm not going to touch really the angle too much right now. I am going to save that, for my buddies at Pro Wrestling Powerhouse tonight. Again, 9 p.m. Online. It's blog radio, I believe. What I am going to do is, after the show is downloaded online, I'm going to link it to the comments here. So if anyone who is watching this wants to see, can't catch the radio show, but wants to see what I think of the whole Ryback storyline, I'm gonna have it there. Another thing I want to touch on, and I knew it from the minute they stuck with this main event, and that's Bound for Glory. And it looks like Austin Aries is going heel. I don't know how many of you guys know the house show results from this weekend. Austin Aries teamed with Bobby Roode against Shane Storm and Jeff Hardy. This is asinine on TNA's part, if you ask me. I feel that for those people that are going to walk into Bound for Glory to see Jeff Hardy in the main event because they know Jeff Hardy as a WWE guy. Remember, this is Phoenix, Arizona. This is new territory for TNA. Not that Aries has never been out there before. 2-3 years ago when WrestleMania was in Phoenix, when Ivana runs their shows, there's going to be people that know who Aries is. There's going to be people out there that are going to watch the show and are going to go knowing who Aries is. But there are going to be people who are going to go because they know who Jeff Hardy is. And I think already TNA is making a huge mistake with the way they're booking this title match. Aries as a heel just doesn't do it for me. And you're trying to expand to new markets. It's not going to work when you're going to have to take your hottest thing that's going, and let's be honest, Aries came out of nowhere in the summer to be in the spot that he is now. I mean, I know Aces and Eights, is the big storyline TNA, but Austin Aries is really a case where you take a guy who got himself over enough on his own with his ability and got to the top, and now you're going to turn around and say, we're going to heal you out. And if you really wanted to set this company up in the right direction and maybe even set Aries up as the marketable guy for that company in the future, have Aries Hardy as a face and have Aries beat him clean in the middle of that ring. Have Hardy, and I'm not even going to get into the contract situation with Hardy because, the one thing I will give TNA, just when you think guys are out the door, they pop back up. So I'm not even buying into the whole Jeff Hardy contract situation, but have Jeff Hardy shake his hand in the middle of the ring and put him over and really establish him. This is the one thing TNA is, except for when AJ Styles beats Sting at Bound for Glory '09, TNA does a terrible job of this, of feeding their guys to the older WWE guys, and it's just, I think it's a shame for Aries, who I think deserves better going into this. You're going to give him the ball to highlight Bound for Glory, especially when you have an obvious main event in James Storm and Bobby Roode. You're pushing that down almost 3 levels, and Austin Aries has got what should be the main event slot, and you're going to heel him out and take what could have been a great moment for him and just ruin it. But that's typical TNA. Couple quick tidbits here. For anyone wondering why there was no reaction to Ryback when he appeared at the end of last night's Raw segment, is apparently the word going around is that it wasn't shown to the live crowd. The screen went black, and this was just shown on TV. Punk came back out for the dark match main event against Sheamus, but no one in that audience knew what happened, so that's why there was no reaction. So let's not think that the audience isn't buying into Ryback because there was no reaction at the end. They didn't see it to react. Something else that's going around is the TV title situation in TNA. I have heard and read that Devon may do a one-off spot. I wouldn't be surprised if they're being very coy about it. They're saying 4 competitors are going to vie for the right to challenge for the TV title. I could see Devon coming in and doing the one-off shot. I know Hogan claims he's trying to do everything in his power to get him brought back. I, for one, don't think that Devon by himself is worth it to WWE without Bully Ray. I'm not saying they had to put them back together as 3D, but I think in WWE's case they would work better as a package. So if Devon re-signs with TNA, I'm fine with that. I would have loved to have seen Bully in WWE, I'm not going to lie. But I could see Devon coming to do a one-off. I could also see Hogan saying, you know what, there is no TV champion right now. I'm going to give all 4 of you guys a shot. Maybe they'll do 2 matches Thursday night. Maybe the following week they'll do the finals. Or, you know what, do the finals at Bound for Glory. It could work like that. I've also heard that Devon may come in and do a one-off, drop the title, and leave. So either way, it looks like we're going to have the TV title situation resolved at the end of Thursday night on Impact. Hogan's going into Aces and Eights, as we know. He's kind of tweeting that there may be that he may have a surprise. I kind of heard something off the cuff, not don't have any confirmation on it. It was kind of trickled down from a guy who's a friend with someone that works here who has a connection to Universal, and I've heard a rumor possibly Hogan wanting to do something almost unofficially of an NWO type thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kevin Nash pop back up here. He's on the no talent deal to WWE. I could see that happening, but again, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get better acting than Joseph Parks taking a hammer to the head. So we'll see what happens there. Raw was a great show. I'm not really going to get into it too much. That's going to be for tonight. I'm going to save that as much as I can, like I said, for Jay and the guys on the radio show. And that's really it for me right now. I know it's probably not my best episode, but I'm still working on it. I'm only 3 deep, so if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment. I posted on Pro Wrestling Powerhouse's Facebook page, Wrestling Roundtable Facebook page. So if you guys want to beat me up on it in comments, go right ahead. Like I said, tonight I'll be hopefully getting to take part of the radio show again, really delve into the Ryback thing some more, and like I said, I'm going to attach it to the comments here, so you guys, if anyone was really interested and didn't listen to the show, like I said, who wants to see what I think of the Ryback thing, you can check it out from there. Alright, it's John. See you later, guys, next week. Alright, take care.